let's get down to brass tacks. I will definitely agree that the Kevin Williamson news is huge. If you were to give me an idea, and also the audience, of the percentage increase that you have as far as the confidence level in Scream 7, can you give us a picture of what that is? I know for me, before hearing that news about Kevin, I was maybe at, I don't know, 70%, maybe 75. Now I feel like I'm like, at least 15% higher, knowing that he's got that credit.
I was like 50-50, dude. I was like 50-50. This is either going to be, surprise hit or maybe not. But now it's a totally different it's a totally different animal entirely. And not only is that good news, in my opinion, that Kevin is once again writing these excellent characters, but I'm seeing things in the trailer that I'm just like, this is exactly what they needed to do with all of these characters, exactly how they needed to handle it.
When you heard Stu at the end, for me, I just had a smile, and my heart kind of, fluttered a little bit. Obviously, thinking of our brother Steven. What was your vibe with that voice at the end? Did anything pop into your mind?
Well, they're definitely teasing Stu. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind about it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Dude, and even before that, there's little subtle things. Did you notice when we're at Stu's house, we see the outline of Amber, we see the outline of, where I'm going with this, with Richie, we see the outline of Billy, but we don't see the family room. We don't see the living room or whatever where Stu would have died. And that was done on purpose. You can't tell me otherwise. And here's my thing. If I'm the Scream marketing team, I'm going to make you think it's Stu, whether it's him or if it's not, because that's going to drive conversation. Hell, it's been driving conversation since Scream 6 came out. Maybe they'll bring back Stu in the next one. It's been a talking point for literal years now. So of course the marketing team's going to do that, just like how they did with Scream 6. If you remember, like there was multiple times in that marketing where they were like, I don't know, Stu could be alive. I don't know. Why wouldn't you do that? I mean, it's just one of the biggest fan theories. So it's one of those things where I feel like we can't trust the marketing. It's very clearly misleading. But I was thinking about Steven the whole time. And I was just thinking, if he were here right now, he'd be calling me, getting me on a stream, and we'd be talking about his craziest new Stu theory.
We would, man. And his eyes would have gotten so freaking big, and that smile that he always had. And I really, we were talking about it earlier. It was just that bittersweet moment, but overall just, yeah, man, it's going to happen. And you've been calling it and you've been wanting it for a long time. I mean, when I say it's going to happen, we're at least going to have, something. If it's just a voice, if it's just a deep fake, sure. Again, I think you get Matthew Lillard involved with this film, you have to, it has to happen. I mean, obviously it may not, and I'm prepared for that, but I just feel like it's an opportunity that is just waiting. I mean, it's literally waiting. And not only that, but being that 8 is greenlit, we were saying this morning, how perfect would it be for the marketing if at the end we get that reveal, that he is alive, something, whatever it may be. It could be the last 10 minutes or less of the film. We're thinking it's a deep fake or AI. We see that the voices of Dewey and this person and that person and Stu, and then at the end it's revealed, oh, wait a minute, he's actually back. And I mean, how many people are going to be like so hyped up for Scream 8? I mean, it's literally it's the perfect pitch for a home run, in my opinion. I mean, and again, there's some folks that don't want to see him, and I get that and I can respect that, but I just feel like it's a big opportunity that's right there to take. It really, really is.
Well, there's no doubt Matthew Lillard is in a renaissance right now. I mean, for me to not utilize him in a new Scream movie at all would be a missed opportunity, and with him already being a part of the cast, I just feel like he has to show up in some way. And like, for me at least, I think what I love about Stu is, and I wouldn't want to turn him into a different character. And that's my whole thing. Like every single Stu Macher is alive pitch that I've ever heard, just, it doesn't sound like the character of Stu. It sounds like we're making him into something else. And there's no, there's no cause and effect, to get him to that point. If he's been hiding out in a basement for 30 years, how is he a cult leader?
Right.
I just think if I want to get Stu, I want to get a flashback so that Matthew Lillard can go back to that mindset he was in 1996 and deliver a real funny over the top performance, and that would be great. That would be a lot of fun. And also, if they just did like a super simple, everyone hates this idea too, but that's just how it goes when it comes to theories. If they did a Halloween 2018 approach where it's just direct sequel to the original, Stu's been in prison this whole time, he survived, I wouldn't care. I wouldn't bat an eye at that at all. But the problem is there's been so much history since then. There's been so much that has happened in the sequels. That's right. But I could go on and on. I will say if they bring him back, I will be happy because I know that Steven would have loved it, and I know that he would be with us in spirit, saying, "I told you."
He would have been like, "It happened." Oh man. Just thinking about it gives me goosebumps. At the end, regardless if it's a true cliffhanger or not, do you think Ghostface is finally going to get away? We know they've toyed around with that idea since way back when about, Ghostface, obviously surviving or something. What do you think?
Well, I think if Kevin's back, he's going to want to do something new. He's not going to want to do exactly the same thing. Just seeing some of his other writing, he definitely falls into, there's some similar things you'll see from some of his other little projects he's written. But I think when it comes to Scream, he's the guy that wrote the original, which was the whole point of it, was to kind of, hold a mirror up to the current state of the slasher genre. I think if you're going to make a sequel to that, you got to find a way to kind of do that again in some unique way. Right. Just try to reinvent the space one way, shape, or another. And I don't know. For me, I really think a cliffhanger could do that. It's just it's a tough thing to handle. I don't think I want a cliffhanger where we still have like maybe 6 more characters alive and one of them's Ghostface, because we're gonna figure it out in between movies. Like that's just the way the internet works. We may already have the killer figured out for Scream 7. You know what I mean? And we just got the trailer today. Right. So I really wouldn't want that. I would want some sort of like dramatic irony where the audience knows already, but maybe the characters in universe don't. That would be fun. That could work to me.
Yeah, I agree with that. The killer or killers, there's a couple of scenes, and I think I'm going to play the trailer at least once so we can just kind of, take it in. There's a scene where we noticed that the killer looked really slight in the shoulders. The shoulder. I mean, I can't even imitate it because, I'm a man. We talked about the possibility of maybe one of the stunt folks being a woman, to portray a female Ghostface killer. Any particular thoughts on that?
Oh yeah, I'm like 100% sure Anna Camp is the killer after this trailer. Listen, you should never say never, and you should never be 100% sure of anything before it happens. But dude, like, look, if you're gonna try to misdirect me, okay, if you're gonna try to, misdirection is not about making you just think one thing and then it turns into something else. It's not making you think that this color is red when it's actually blue. It's making you think that this thing, all these things that we're setting up are leading you down this path, when in reality, all of these things are leading you down a totally different path that you didn't even realize. But all those things are still present when we get to the ending. So we know that whoever the killer is connected to Woodsboro, is connected to Stu in particular. That's why we're burning down his house. There's no way it's not. Yeah. It's Stu's sister. That's what it is.
That's what, go ahead.
Yeah, dude, I hate to be this guy, but I'm 100% sure it is Leslie Macher. And why is she targeting the kid? Why is she targeting Sydney's kid? Because her fucking kid, exactly. Yes. Vince died 2 movies ago, and that's what set this whole thing in motion. And she's been planning everything since the events of Scream 2022. It's going to wrap up everything nice and neat so that 5, 6, and 7 now are all kind of a trilogy, even though we're following different characters. Yeah. See, you know what I mean? Like that to me would just make these movies all work in tandem. There's also connections to 5 too, a ton of connections to 5. I mean, the ending of that film also took place at Stu's house, and now we're starting it there, burning the place down, where the killers who took out her kid also died. So, I mean, it's the perfect way to connect to not only the original, but to Scream 2022 into a new story that wraps everything nice and neat into a little bow.
it does wrap into a nice bow, but let me throw this at you. If Stu is alive, okay, let's just play devil's advocate. If Stu Macher is alive in the flesh, could this be a possibility where he's manipulating his sister, or kind of stirring the pot type of thing? You know, this is all Sidney's fault. You know, she whatever, tried to kill me, yada yada yada, and everything came to fruition, and it killed your son, my nephew, blah 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 blah. I mean, could that be the way that he's like the ultimate reveal, like, you know, this whole brother and sister tandem, Stu kind of manipulating his sister? I mean, I don't want to go much further than that right now, because that could go into another rabbit hole, but what do you think of that? Could that be the way that it could be him in the flesh as part of this?
I mean, I don't think it's impossible by any means. They're very clearly setting up Stu, but I just, like, it feels very obvious.
It does.
You know what I mean? Like, it feels like that's the obvious answer of where to take this after everything we just saw in the trailer. And more than ever, like, you know, we were talking about Scream 6 earlier, about how they were marketing that movie in a way to kind of make you think like, oh, maybe Stu could be involved. It was little things, though. I mean, it was like that one poster, for instance, with all the different transits that made up like a Ghostface face, and all the stops were all the different killers.
Yeah.
The point where it was Stu Macher, it was a slightly different color. So everyone was like, what? No, what's that? That's got to mean something. It's even more in your face with this trailer. I mean, every 10 seconds, there is something that you can connect back to Stu. I'm not even kidding. Like, if you go back and watch it, there is something. Even if it's really subtle, there's so many moments like that. The last thing you hear, like you said, is Stu Macher's voice. Just, like, again, if it's me marketing a movie, I don't know if I would want to make it that obvious that it's like, oh, that's our big reveal. That's the big thing. You know what I mean? That's, I don't know. That to me would be something I would want to avoid in a teaser. But I don't. Again, it's possible. It's not. There's not a 0% chance by any means. I mean, I might have a bias against it, but throw that out the window. Will it happen? It definitely could. Matthew's in the cast. We already know this.
Yeah. I mean, I think the only way you can combat that, as far as making it too easy to figure out, is having, you know, just different levels, you know, to it, to confuse people, which obviously this whole AI thing could do, and obviously how the reveal is done. And if there's multiple Ghostface killers, and when I say multiple, I'm always thinking we get at least 2, but maybe we have 3 or 4. You know what I'm saying?